Well, by all means, quite a very important time, especially for the world, navigating all these complexities. We saw with the budget cuts really affecting so many countries and really just causing quite a havoc. But of course, it's not the time for doom and gloom. Joining us now is UNAIDS Executive Director, Ms. Byanyima. Thank you so much indeed for your time. And I suppose the very first question is the impact to the budget cut. How is the world doing with a very, very critical time and so unprecedented as well?
Thank you. Aid has been declining over time. We always knew that aid would end, and now there has been a severe disruption in the HIV response, but generally aid has been declining. And I see that what's important today is to first accept the reality that aid was going to end, do the analysis of what the gap is in the HIV response or in health broadly where the disruption has been, and then get on with filling that gap. I see many African countries taking the right steps of filling the gap in spite of the severe constraints they have on their budgets. I see here South Africa, a very good example. It has lost 17% of its budget for HIV. It came from support by the United States government, but I've seen through this visit remarkable efforts to fill the gap. And I see commitment from all sides, civil society, government. I see real efforts to close that gap. We need to focus a lot on prevention. That is where we have slowest progress. There's more progress on treatment, adherence to treatment. But overall, I'm optimistic that Africa will find solutions. We wasn't going to remain on aid forever.
And obviously, ma'am, you spoke about the issue of South Africa leading, for example, around the replenishment fund in terms of making sure that the world is not seeing setbacks, and be able to counter those setbacks. And you've interacted with President Ramaphosa, especially a critical time for South Africa, for Global South, with the G20 presidency. What has been that discussion been like, especially around South Africa's priorities?
I congratulated President Ramaphosa for his global leadership. This is not an easy time for African countries that are highly indebted, paying more to service their debt than they can put in the health of their people, but yet he has stood up to lead the Global Fund replenishment. This is a big responsibility he's taken on. We're supporting him. We're going to be calling on the countries that are richer to put down the resources we need to end this disease. HIV is a global pandemic. It has to be solved by global efforts. And so I was very happy to meet the president and congratulate him on taking up this leadership role at a very difficult time. Secondly, I also congratulated him on his leadership on G20. President Ramaphosa has made 3 priorities: solidarity, equity, and sustainability. Again, at a time when the world needs that message that stay together in solving global problems. Multilateralism is critical to solve global problems. This is a time when we are seeing countries pulling back instead of coming together to solve problems.